Then I took a smidge and applied it down there.
This one's wife. Did Meghan threaten self-deletion? Hello, I'm HG Tudor. This one's wife has certainly been occupying certain headlines with the recent pregnancy twerking video that she has released. This has attracted plenty of ridicule, many people thinking, no, you certainly weren't pregnant, and some defenders suggesting that people once again are being racist with their reaction to it. The usual battle continues. It certainly is the case, however, that plenty of people took to social media calling her behaviour trashy, pathetic, attention-seeking, recognising that it sought to overshadow her daughter's birthday, that it was the grubby narcissistic behaviour that people have become accustomed to, and generally criticising her and mocking her. You might wonder, could that be something that would be particularly problematic for a narcissist such as this one's wife, which would result in a threat to self-delete? Well, narcissists are common users of threats, and I've set out in a separate video a detailed analysis about how narcissists use threats as part of their manipulative repertoire to get to the prime aims. And I'd encourage you to watch my video, The Narcissist and Threats, because it's not only very interesting of itself, but hugely important for those of you that have been on the receiving end from a threat from a narcissist. Simply put, lesser and mid-range narcissists do make extensive use of threats, particularly mid-range narcissists. And this is because the power is in the threat rather than its execution. It's easy to do, which the narcissism likes. The power of control can be maintained by having the threat hanging over somebody. And that execution is generally unlikely as a consequence of the necessity of taking action, but also action that could damage the facade and lead to ramifications by the creation of evidence. Therefore, maintaining a threat hanging over somebody is particularly attractive to the narcissist. And a suicide threat can be a relatively common manipulation used by a narcissist, although they very rarely carry it out. Now, as I've explained in another video, The Narcissist and Suicide, some narcissists will take their own lives, but it is very rare. It is as a consequence of either some comorbid condition or the fact that the narcissist has been placed within a particular fuel crisis or sustained and unrelenting threats to their control. Ultimately, a narcissist taking their own life is the biggest fuck you that they could issue. After all, they're exerting control, they are withdrawing, so it's the third assertion of control, and they're withdrawing permanently. They will, of course, be contemplating the guilt and upset of those that are left behind, which provides them with some satisfying fuel as they shuffle off this mortal coil. But on the whole, it's unusual for narcissists to go down this route because it runs contrary to what the narcissism wants. The narcissist to remain alive, surviving, thriving, drawing fuel. Indeed, the narcissist is believed to be the best by the narcissism, and therefore why would they remove themselves from the world? The world needs the narcissist. And therefore it is a set of unusual circumstances for that to occur. Thus, threats are certainly used by narcissists to take their own lives in order to evoke a response, and suicide threats are far more common than the actual commission of the act by narcissists. This is because, once again, by talking about something rather than doing it, the narcissist gets the prime aims. By threatening to take their own life, they cause people to respond out of concern, causing them to then show that they're under control. Their concern, their sympathy, their care and compassion provides fuel to the narcissist. It may result to, as well, for the narcissist to obtain some form of residual benefit, basically extorting money out of somebody under threat of suicide. It may enable the narcissist to receive a stay of execution on being removed from a property and such like. Thus, not all narcissists would utilise suicide threats. It's seen more often with mid-range narcissists, and, as I explained, they're more likely to threaten it than actually carry it out. But where does this all leave us with regard to this one's wife? Well, as a consequence of her ridiculous pregnancy twerking video, she faced an outpouring of criticism. Yes, there were some voices supporting her. There were some individuals that were stating that it's just bonkers conspiracy theories again in relation to the pregnancy. There were people saying, what's wrong with doing a twerking dance when you're about to give birth? But there was a tsunami of disapproval, condemnation, and criticism in relation to somebody who is part of the royal family still behaving in that manner, and moreover, posting it on social media purportedly years later, thus embarrassing people, showing no emotional empathy for Lilibert, and basically reaffirming in many people's minds that she's a rather basic individual. Thus, across mainstream media and social media, there was this outpouring of criticism, which, as you know, is challenge fuel. This one's wife certainly wanted to provoke responses, but it does appear to have largely backfired because it's caused more people to question the pregnancies and to mock her. Would such an outpouring of criticism be problematic for her? Well, in the first instance, yes, it would. While she's getting huge amounts of fuel, it's also a threat to her need for control. And therefore, her narcissism needs to do something in relation to it. As I've explained previously, she can't deal with it directly by contacting each and every commenter on social media or below the line, every single journalist to point out, no, you're wrong. Thus, that option is denied to her. She could, of course, complain to Harry or whoever will listen about the nasty nature of these individuals and gain their sympathy, thus asserting control indirectly through the second assertion of control. But would that necessarily be sustainable as a consequence of the wave after wave of criticism? The other alternative, of course, is withdrawal. And with that, there might be a permanent withdrawal. And it did appear that this might have been the response of this one's wife as a consequence of this mass criticism of her actions, for this appeared on social media. This appeared on the internet. It shows a picture of this one's wife, the picture that is used on her social media Instagram account. It shows her name, the verified tick, and the message, "Fuck you all. Bye." What might this mean? Well, it could be just a simple dismissiveness saying, go away. Or, as other people have interpreted it, it was a general fuck you to the world at large and a threat that she would be on her way out. As mentioned, a narcissist would make use of the threat of taking their own life as a means to assert control and draw fuel. And certainly it's a potential response that could arise as a consequence of the sustained and substantial criticism that she has received arising from her pregnancy twerking video. Remember, control is the first of the prime aims. The narcissist must always obtain it in some form and always does, either directly, indirectly, or through withdrawal, and commonly in relation to the way that she faces repeated criticisms which are threats to control. This one's wife utilises the second and third assertions of control. Might it be on this occasion that she sought to suggest that she was going to self-delete? Well, whilst it is something that is potentially possible, the fact is this is clearly a fake, because the handle reads at Meghan Markle, whereas for her Instagram account it's at Meghan. But it's quite clear that many people were taken in, for they took to social media pointing this out, and indeed even raised questions of this one's wife herself as to asking why did she put this up, and it was apparently removed fairly quickly thereafter. The fact is that somebody generated a fake which appeared then on the internet, suggested no doubt that it had been legitimately created by this one's wife, captured by a screenshot, and then circulated by persons unknown. But it does provide me with an opportunity to explain to you the attitude of the narcissist towards suicide, the use of threats, and how that factors into what this one's wife has been experiencing just recently. The fact is, on this occasion, it was a fake that was created, and it's important to point that out with regard to ensuring that information that is utilised in respect of this one's wife is verified as far as one possibly can. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.